right then, Daniel Ward here with Ukulele Magazine. Of course, we're going to look at the blues today. And I'm going to take these off because I can't see anything. Basically, this lesson is almost like an easy theory and ear training lesson, but you don't have to do anything. All we're going to do is play through the chords, learn the chords for dominant, minor style, and then a major blues, like country western style blues, that's in the relative major key. But they all share one thing. We're going to have a lick that goes through at the end of each line. It starts on the third beat of the third measure. And the scale that we use, it's right in front of you if you look at your lesson. I'm on the first string, and I'm going to play it down like this. 3, open, 3, open, 2, open, 2, open. That's our pentatonic scale for A minor. Now, if you use a high G, it's going to sound like bum, 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 bum. This is a low G, but the lick works fine on either one, so we're good to go. Let's learn these chords. In example 1 for, this is called the dominant style, or a lot of people refer to it as Chicago style 12-bar blues. And it starts with a dominant chord, has a dominant chord in the middle, and a dominant chord at the end. Only 3 chords, A7, D7, and E7. So take a look at the chart there, and let's just do the chords once. A7, 2, 3, 4, D7, and back to the A7, 2, 3, 4, stays there. Now second line is D7, stay there for 2, and back to the A7 for 2. Now here's the last line, E7, that's 5 chord, down to the D7, the 4 as they call it, then to the A7, 2, 3, 4, E7, and back to the top, or you can just end it right there. You can circle as many times as you want. The blues has a great way of resetting itself, and the way the pentatonic works over it is magic. That's what we're looking at today. So those are the chords. If you want to, just practice those a few times before you start adding the lick. Now this pentatonic we looked at, the lick is going to fit right inside of it. Except right there, I'm going to jump on the 3rd string to the 4th fret and slide up. And then 3rd string on the 2nd fret and hold it. That's kind of a cool lick. So I'm using all the same notes, but I'm just going out of the little box there. Same as that, but we're going to get a little slide out of it. And the way you count it here, it's going to come in exactly in the same place in each one of these exercises. At the very last, we got A7, and the very last part of each measure is going to go A7, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1. Now that's not too easy to hear the first time, but listen to it in context. It's got, you just wait 2 beats basically. 1, 2, 3, and then you wait 2. Play the lick. Okay, so let me do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. And sometimes it'll land on a different chord, but if you get really good at that lick over and over, then you can do it. Ooh, see how that sounds? So let me play through the whole first example, and I'll put the lick at the end of each line, starting on the 3rd beat of the 3rd measure. But basically you just count 1, 2, start the lick. You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Here's the 1, 2. 1, 2, lick. Then the D7, this is the 2nd line. God, that sounds cool, right? Woo! And then to the A7, 2, 3. And I did it wrong there, watch that. 1, 2. Ba, 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 ba. E7, back to the D7, 2. And here's the 1, 2 again. 1, 2. The end there. So let me play through that whole thing a little quicker just so you can hear how cool that sounds. And this is the dominant style Chicago blues. 1, 2, 3, just using my thumb right now. 1, 2, lick. G7, that's the 4 chord. Then back to the A7. And then the E7, down to the D7. And here's the 1, 2. Okay? Now the cool thing about this scale is you can start improvising with it on your own, just with that lick or some other stuff, but we'll get to that a little bit later. First, let's look at the minor thing. So this minor blues, you might hear like some B.B. King or Robert Cray kind of stuff. Has a little bit more spice. 1, 2. Wow, lick works exactly the same over minor, then the 1, 2. And now E7, D minor, and back to the A minor 2. That's so cool. Listen to that. Let's do it one more time, nice and slow. Minor chord, then the minor chord on the D minor, back to the 1, 2. Just count 2 beats. Now the minor chord, and back to the A minor 2. And now the E7, and then to the D minor, right? And back to the last A minor. I did a little improv on the end there. See how you can move those notes around a bit? So once you start with those two, the minor and the dominant blues, you can make up your own licks. Like watch this. Here's the minor. So let's just mess around a little bit with that 1 pentatonic scale and adding a little bit of the lick that I taught you, just to move things around a bit. So use your imagination, but I'm going to go right to, now the weirdest thing that happens if you play a C, an F, and a G7, this is basically the relative major of that A minor pentatonic, which fits all these notes and manages to miss a lot of the awful notes that if you played a C major scale or something, you might get into trouble in any of those keys, especially the Chicago Blues one, because that's all dominant chords. But check the sound out. Wow, that suddenly sounds like a country lick. So let me play through these chords. C, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Change it up a little there. And I count to 2 again. 1, 2. And then the G7. Then the F2. Here's that C. 1, 2. Wow, that is just crazy. So if you've ever heard, like, you know, some of the more country swing kind of stuff, they'll do those licks really fun and kind of fast. That's a very country sound. Now check this out. I'll do that same lick. Wow, totally changed of the ear. And here's the minor. Woo, spicy. So what you can do is you can learn this little box over and over. You can extend it up the neck and all sorts of cool stuff to do. But just for now, play through all of those chords and really learn each of the styles in those 12 bars. And there's just 3 lines for each and then 4 chords for each line. So that adds up to 12. And here's the first. You usually go just 1 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord twice. Then you go to the 4 chord twice, then the 1 chord twice. The last line is where everything wraps up, where you got 5 chord, then to the 4 chord, then to the 1 chord, and then 5, and it starts again. Now here's an example of the last thing I'm going to do here is just give it a little example of improvising with this lick and with some other stuff in between. This is like a Stevie Ray Vaughan sort of style. Just you start the song, here's where the lyric goes, here's where the lyric goes, and then you put a lick. Here's where that same lyric goes. Oh yeah, the same lyric goes. 1, 2. And then the 5, this is the part where it's supposed to rhyme, don't you know? 1, 2. Alrighty then. So, you know what to do. Go play this stuff, practice it, and have fun with your lesson. Thanks.